Good morning, everybody. I am here today to welcome you all to Rapida Online's Dreamforce Oriented Customer Success webinar here on August 19th, 2015. For those of you that are joining us on the West Coast, that is 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we are really excited to have all of you here today for this webinar, which will be focused on Microsoft Dynamics AX cloud data integration for those of you that are using Salesforce as a CRM. As it relates, I would kind of like to start here today with just a brief introduction of the Rapidi Online staff that will be on to help us through this customer success webinar. Starting, of course, with myself. As you can see, I've written here that I am the moderator and host. I am also the global marketing manager that's in charge of pretty much all of our marketing initiatives here at the company. I work out of Seattle, Washington, and you'll see all my contact information. You can find me on Twitter at BadgerHong. Also here with us today is Keith Merrick, who will be doing a brief introduction of himself along with a demonstration, in fact, a live demonstration of our platform, along with some presentation materials that should give you a better understanding of Rapidi Online, both as a company, as a solution, and as a data integration platform. And for those of you that are into the tech side of the stuff here, Thomas Boring, or as we like to call in our company, Thomas Not So Boring at all. He is our implementation team leader, and he will be replying to any technical questions that do come about on a private basis over email. So as you are listening to today's webinar, please do feel free to send us questions. We do have a very nicely packaged 30-minute webinar here for you today, and as I said, we will be going through our Dreamforce engagement and give you a little overview, a sneak peek, so to speak, of what to expect at our booth here in San Francisco at Dreamforce, along with a brief introduction of our company, a Q&A featuring Jani Kettula of ReadSoft, who will be talking a little bit about our turnkey solution connecting Microsoft Dynamics AX to that of Salesforce CRM. And then, of course, we'll finish up with a live demo and presentation of our data integration platform featuring Keith Merrick of Rapida Online. As it relates to our Dreamforce sponsorship, you'll see an infographic here that shows off our theme and booth graphics. You will, of course, be able to find us at booth N1015, which is in the North Exhibit Hall. We'll be right by the DocuSign booth. We've chosen the expression "Let's Connect" as a theme, as we feel it really does run parallel to the networking spirit of the event, which is, of course, to connect with other people engaged in the Salesforce ecosystem. But in that same regard, it also runs parallel to our core offerings, which is, of course, in providing connectors for various business solutions such as Salesforce.com, and those within the Microsoft Dynamics ERP ecosystem, including that of AX, NAV, and GP. And so one of the things that we hope that you will do is connect with us. And so please do come to our booth, again, in the North Exhibit Hall there, and let's connect. Rapida Online, of course, is a data integration company based out of Copenhagen, Denmark. And it's a company with a global customer base and a network of partners that are able to draw upon Rapida Online's 2 decades of experience helping customers and companies streamline operations with data integration innovation. And so as it relates, I think if Salesforce is a company that says that they were born in the cloud, it might be best stated that Rapida Online was a company, as you see written here, that was born out of Navision. Navision, you might be aware, was a company that, similar to that of Rapida Online, was founded in Copenhagen and became a very popular piece of software that was eventually acquired by Microsoft in 2002. Navision, of course, later went on to become known as Microsoft Dynamics NAV, joining that Microsoft Dynamics Business Solutions Suite that also includes that of GP and AX, which we are touching upon here today. Michael Bach, of course, was involved with the development of Navision before he went off to found Rapida Online to bring the world a cloud-based data integration platform with enterprise scalability, robustness, and flexibility to handle projects of any size, scope, and scale. And especially as it relates to the integration of Salesforce CRM to that of Microsoft Dynamics ERP solutions, including that of NAV, AX, and GP. We have a core technology that's capable of offering both a secure and end-to-end integration experience. And as we'll touch upon here today, we offer several different turnkey solutions that can really connect these two solutions and marry them together in a way that can do it quickly, efficiently, and effectively. And of course, we'll be concentrating here today on Microsoft Dynamics AX integration with that of Salesforce.com. And of course, at this time, I'd like to hand the mic on over to that of Keith Merrick, who will be going through a demo and explanation of Rapida Online's data integration platform. And he has his own presentation materials here, so I will let Keith take it away. Keith?
Keith Merrick from Rapida Online. I have prepared a demo for us today that will take us through the entire stack about our integration solution, particularly to the one between Salesforce.com and Microsoft Dynamics AX. That will lead us through the platform itself, a bit about the architecture, and also a bit deeper to the business solution between Salesforce.com and Microsoft Dynamics AX. What is really unique about Rapida Online is that we deliver a generic engine that you can utilize to integrate all your data within your company. On top of that generic engine, we also provide a set of templates, an out-of-a-box solution, if you will, that will enable you to integrate Salesforce.com and Microsoft Dynamics AX very fast. We're probably the sole provider having worked with the Microsoft Dynamics platform for more than 25 years. That we can provide the full support for all versions of Microsoft Dynamics ERPs, being it NAV, AX, GP, and others. The entire philosophy really is making the integration a task, a simple one. It's also good to know that Rapida Online is designed on a multiple layer architecture, which means that you can grow with your needs and future requirements. For instance, connecting other data sources, be it databases or data warehouses, web commerce, and the like. About the architecture, and this is very much the core of what we do, it resides on two major pillars, performance on one side and security on the other. The solution can operate both on-premise, cloud, or a hybrid environment. What you see on the right-hand side, your Dynamics AX environment, we will typically deploy what we call a Rapidi connector that will do the handshake with your AX environment. The communication between these two systems will typically depend on the version of AX that you have, but also the type of task we are to perform, also towards AX or from AX. From there, we only need an outbound connection out of the firewall to hook up to our Rapida Online central service that you see on the left-hand side. And from there, since it's a cloud platform, over to Salesforce is a straight web service SSL communication there. Important to note that this is a true enterprise integration, which means that there is no temporary storage, and the solution will keep track of the updates in the background. Either the data will be updated or not updated. And if it's not updated, it will keep track until it is updated. It is also empowered by the set of tools that make it really, you can trust and rely on the data in both systems. They're amongst the incremental update, where we basically keep track of the changes that occurs in particularly in AX, and in that sense only transfer the changes that has occurred since the last time we have done the update, among others. I mentioned the business solution earlier. This is the set, or this is the business solution that we provide today. It is very important to highlight that this is a set of suggestions from our side, which means that all the customizations that you have done or will be doing either on your AX environment or on your Salesforce environment can be easily added or adapted onto this platform. That be fields, new objects, new processes, and so on, directions of the flow of the data, and so forth. Taking it from the top, it will consist of your customer to accounts, typically bi-directional. That would include contact as well. Items, pricing, typically from AX to Salesforce. The entire sales history, so booked invoices, booked credit memos, even payments will be transferred from AX to Salesforce. So already with that, you really have the 360 degrees of your accounts from Salesforce enriched by data deriving straight from AX environment. We also have different methods actually to handle the ordering process. So we can transfer, of course, from sales orders from AX to Salesforce, or even opportunities, be it quotes or orders from Salesforce into AX. And that last example can even be empowered by the workflow within Salesforce that can actually trigger the integration to make it an instant integration and transfer that particular opportunity as a sales order instantly. So this is a set of templates that are ready to be deployed as of day one. Let me show you quickly how the data will reside into Salesforce. Here I have a demo database from a Dynamics AX 2012, my Contoso account here. So beside the master data integration, the system is per default enabled to handle multiple companies. This is what we mean here by legal entity. So you can actually have several entities or legal companies from AX integrated into one and the very same Salesforce environment, for instance. But beside the master data integration of your accounts here in this case, then as you can see, we can also do some operations that are typically ERP minded, where we can go in, since we do have the data within Salesforce, we can calculate roll-up sum fields in Salesforce based on that very same data set to calculate an open balance for that account, to do a year-to-date sale, for instance, and so forth. And this is really powerful information that the fields folks will be accessing into straight into Salesforce. Scrolling down further here, you'll see some of the objects we saw earlier in the business solution. So here you'll have all your booked invoices and credit memos. Digging further into one of them, you'll see all your data that is residing in AX transferred over to Salesforce, all the fields that you need within your solution there. We do what we call intelligent transfers, which means that when we transfer a header, the lines will follow as well. So you'll never end up with a header without lines, for instance. Otherwise, the entire data set will be transferred straight from AX into Salesforce environments. Going further within these objects here, you'll see some of the payments we mentioned also. If you even use the settle against within your AX environment, you will see that very same relationship in Salesforce. You will see, well, this payment has settled this invoice. And this is also very valuable information within Salesforce. Lastly, we have also the sales orders. These are obviously coming in from Dynamics AX. Go into this entity here, you'll see all the data again coming in from AX. This is typically a good solution if you're producing to order, where you can basically change the delivery date, quantity, back orders, and so on. Again, the header analyze are there as well, and of course, including all the data, being it statistical codes or discounts and so forth. So with this in hand, and this is really what I meant earlier by the 360-degree overview, is that within your account in Salesforce, you have all your contacts, you have your sales history, what has been invoiced and credited to that account, what has been paid as well, what are the sales orders hanging on the that account, opportunities, and so forth. And since the data that you see here is actually residing in Salesforce, that means that you can utilize the reporting engine and the dashboarding within Salesforce to really create all types of reports out of this data at your fingertips. And this is really comes quite handy, as it is a lot easier to create these reports in Salesforce as to other legacy or other ERP systems. So this is quickly a view of how the data will look like in Salesforce. Moving further and showing you a little bit about the Rapida Online central service. And this is the environment where we, that is us or a partner, can go in and configure, set up, and monitor the entire integration solution. And again, here, simplicity is the word. So once you go into your service, this is a demo Dynamics AX Salesforce integration solution. You will have a snapshot of how the service is running. So a quick dashboard, how the all different elements are running, and whether there is anything that needs your activity in order to have the service up and running again. Typically, we start off a project by building up its connections and being it between Salesforce.com and Microsoft Dynamics AX. So we have a set of, as I mentioned earlier, communication types. Web service is one of them. The SQL connector is another, and so forth. Once these connections are done, and this is a wizard base, very quickly done, then we go ahead and read the design of both solutions. And I'll come back to why we read the design as well. Right after that, we go in and not actually create the transfers, but since we already have that very same business solution, we can go and adapt it to your requirements. So if we go in and say, well, let's look at this update transfer here, for instance, that is updating the data from a customer object from AX into Salesforce. Then it will consist of a set of elements that will actually be useful to resolve or to set up any type of integration for your system. So typically, for instance, you will have the field map in here. And here again, within the Rapida Online Central Service, you'll be able to, if you want to add a new field, then it is as simple as this, then adding a new one. As soon as you start typing, then the solution, and that's where our red design will enable us to list all the fields that are matching the criteria you want to search for. Once the information is found, so you don't need to look at hundreds of fields in both source and destination. The same will happen in your destination field here. So once you start typing, then the solution, of course, will come up with the suggestions reaching out to. So here we have a billing country, and that is it. Then you go up and activate the changes, have it up and running, and that very same field is part of that integration now. Besides classical field mapping, we also have a range of powerful solutions like the DBLOOKUP here, which can actually access information into other tables or from other tables. And you can grab that very same information and deliver it even to your source or destination environment. You can also do data cleansing and structural conditional statements and so on. Very, very powerful, and at the same time, very simple and also accessible and easy to maintain. Very quickly regarding the transfers there, once the transfer are adapted or created for your environment, then we can go ahead and group them. And grouping is done for more to set up the right sequence. So master data, for instance, within your contacts, customers, and so on, and then transactions in different groups. Once these are set up, then we can go ahead and schedule them. And the scheduling is very flexible in a way that, well, in this example here, my schedule is runs Monday to Friday. You can set up to run daily. You can go ahead and set up your interval, different intervals depending on the task you want to perform. So it could be instant or up to the minute, hourly, daily, and so forth. The solution is also enabled with what we call a notification agent. A notification agent is really that runs in the background and makes sure that, like in this example here, if this transfer or group of transfer fails, then we'll retry within 1 hour. And you can go further than that and say, well, if it keeps on failing and it goes beyond whatever you're set it up to notify interval, 1 day in this case here, then it will send notification mails to all admin folks with the link that will hook them straight into the service here and enable them to rectify whatever needs to be rectified to have the service up and running again. This is a very quick tour of our integration platform. Hopefully that have showed you the ease of use, first of all, scalability, and most of all, of course, to have a seamless integration to empower both solutions, Salesforce.com and Microsoft Dynamics AX. Thank you so much for watching.
And at this time, I'd like to turn our attention over to our special guest, Jani. First, Jani, I'd like to thank you for joining us today here on this webinar. And I guess just kind of as a way to get things started, I was hoping you could briefly introduce your company, yourself, and the role that you play at ReadSoft. Jani?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. My name is Jani Kettula. I'm IT Project Manager and Salesforce Administrator for ReadSoft. ReadSoft was recently acquired by Lexmark, which sells a broader set of products and services than ReadSoft, and also sells hardware, printers and scanners. ReadSoft's main focused areas being AP automation. We automate the process of receiving invoices, extracting relevant data from them and posting that in the target ERP system. This also includes workflow processes for approving and viewing invoices. We have several products for data capture in general and integrations with different target systems.
Sounds good, Jani. I appreciate that answer. And I guess in your role as IT manager, how would you say that things are from the perspective of efficiency and effectiveness in tech utilization at your company?
Since ReadSoft has been a global company from the get-go and the IT admin department has always been quite small, we have always had efficiency as a requirement. If something isn't efficient, we don't do it or use it. And the same goes for all other departments. We try to be efficient at all times.
And kind of as it relates to efficiency, as something that was enhanced with your engagement with Rapida Online Cloud Data Integration. Kind of as a lead-in, I was wondering if you could tell us about your company's internal business solutions and how they are utilized within the context of the fully integrated framework that was set up with Rapida Online as your solutions provider.
The key systems are, of course, the CRM and ERP systems. Salesforce is the main system for many departments. Marketing feeds leads into it. Sales manage their opportunities and accounts in there. Support cases are kept there and the order process starts from there. Dynamics AX is the ERP system and is the master of account data, orders and service agreements that are synced with Salesforce. and is of course the main system for the financial department.
So Jani, as it relates to that, what sort of challenges did your company face in having these multiple solutions without a solution for integration? And then who made the ultimate decision to streamline?
Due to the many subsidiaries that we have and the high level of independence that they've had, there were several different ERP systems in use. There was little or no integration with these systems. The first step many years ago was to consolidate into one system, Dynamics AX for all subs. After that was almost finalized, it was determined that the old CRM system wasn't good enough. It was old, it was hard to keep the data up to date and consistent, and we needed something else to go to the next level. Our corporate sales business manager identified these issues as well as requests from salespeople to modernize the CRM system, and Salesforce was identified as the best choice for us.
So then using Salesforce and then realizing that you did need data integration, what sort of requirements did you have with regard to choosing a data integration platform, especially one from a company such as that of Rapida Online?
For our integration needs, we needed something to keep Salesforce and AX in sync. It had to be secure and robust, and at the same time easy to maintain and flexible for our changing needs.
So then it looks like you eventually did decide to choose a Rapidi Online. What was special about the company, and what did you like about the Rapidi Online platform? And as far as our solutions offerings are concerned, what did you see in our service organization that led you to continue to engage us?
From a technical perspective, the mirror database functionality caught our attention. Other vendors either didn't have it or could explain clearly if they could do something similar. So this showed us that Rapidi had good knowledge about Dynamics AX. The tool itself was also quite easy to work with, and we could quite quickly set up test environments to test the integrations.
Excellent, Jani. So then tell us about the project itself with Rapidi Online and the data integration. How did things go? What did you like about the way the project was managed?
The overall project to implement Salesforce with our company went well, and the integration with AX was a sub-project within that. And the main project lead for the integration was actually done by a contractor and not Rapidi. And this is our one main regret. We should have pressed harder to have Rapidi as the main lead, as that would have sped up things and we would have done certain configurations correctly from the beginning. Instead, we had a period where we had to correct some of the contractor's mistakes, and Rapidi helped us do this. The IT department should have been more firm in our recommendation to use Rapidi from the start as the main lead for integration, since we knew they had the knowledge we needed.
So then, Jani, it does look like you did in fact get that knowledge from Rapidi Online. And what were the, I guess in that regard, what were the sum total effects within your organization after you did engage Rapidi Online for the purposes of integration and making things run more smoothly?
The overall improvement was significant. With the same resources we could manage more customers, new and old, which meant more revenue. We introduced Salesforce 2013, and in early 2014 we could see improvements. Reporting was improved for all departments as the quality of the input to the systems got better. The marketing lead process was more streamlined and more leads were processed. Sales had more transparency as more people had access to the same data, and input was improved. Better customer information, for example. Sales forecasting improved with better tools and better input. Support could see the same account and case data as sales and vice versa. Product managers had better reports and forecasting to help them with product planning. IT had a more modern environment to work with, and it was easier to maintain.
Cool. Sounds like a lot of good things happened after integration there. And I guess What was then, throughout the entirety of your project and engagement with Rapidi Online, what has been your favorite, or rather, what is the best aspect of engaging Rapidi Online?
The product is nice to work with and can do what we need it to do, but the most important part of using Rapidi Online has been dealing with the people at Rapidi. They've provided help whenever we needed it and have always been nice to us. Simply put, they're very nice to work with. That has meant a lot to us.
Thank you for that, Jani, and of course your continued engagement with Rapidi Online and your engagement here and interview with me today to talk a little bit about the integration project is much appreciated, and we thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Rapidi Online as we close out this interview?
Yes, if asked if Rapidi can help with your project, say yes. It will speed up your integration project and you'll get things done correctly from the start and have less issues later. So use Rapidi resources in your project.
I'd like to thank Jani for joining us for that interview and finish today's webinar with just a few takeaways from the success story, starting with the effects that we saw in operations here with the ReadSoft case, in that sales, marketing, and finance business units were able to streamline the transfer of data between their various business units with data integration. Something that became very automated and that you can see with the elimination of redundant manual data entry, that you can also eliminate human error from the equation with automation. With live changes, you can have any number of business solutions have all of the data that can be found in any of the business solutions within a preferred data source. And with our turnkey solution connecting Salesforce and NAV, expect it to be a very quick process. Within the framework of our data integration platform, you can extend it out, customize it, and we can connect, as I've said, any combination of on-premise and cloud-based business solutions. So never worry about any of that stuff. We are scalable. Please bring whatever projects you have to us and we will answer any questions you have and lead you through that process. And of course, finally, just as a sort of general way of reinforcing what I feel is really important, is that cloud-based solutions have eliminated the barriers to entry for companies that are looking to scale by eliminating those barriers to entry, especially that of high upfront costs. And especially with ongoing service updates and support from Rapidi Online and other cloud-based providers, never worry about maintaining another piece of hardware ever again. Rapidi Online will be a partner for you. We will lead you on the pathway to streamlining operations and to help you achieve true ROI out of your enterprise tech. And with that, I would like to thank you all for attending today's webinar. And I'd like to leave you all with just a little treat, a video that will be played at Dreamforce that is under production, but is a good copy of what we do here. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you all, and we will talk to you again very soon. Let's connect.